Peace family, Vie Darling, the MFN Cosmic Queen, and your intergalactic interpreter, and I'm just here with a message. I just want to bring in a little message, yesterday I did a little reading about sidereal Aries season and getting the High Priestess. Bottom of the deck, we get 8 of Cups in reverse. And then we get the Princess of Pentacles in reverse. This is the 8 of Cups in reverse. So you have called out whoever it was who needed to be called out. You've called them out. You are honoring your intuition. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. You are honoring your intuition, and that is paying off for you. It's the end of all those spilling of the cups. When they say don't cry over spilled milk, this is exactly what they're talking about. Don't cry over this spilled milk. You see him, he's crying over spilled milk. That's not going to be you anymore. And if you are still hurting over a situation where you felt like you lost something, you're allowed to grieve, but understand that this is actually a gain in your life. This space that you now have, because I feel like whatever it was an energy vampire. Whatever it was sucking out your energy. And this is why I said in the eclipse video, we need to be paying attention to, you get the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. We need to be paying attention to the intention of what it is we are working with. What it is at the heart, at the center, at the core of the thing that we're engaging with. Because if this thing was built to exploit you, best believe it's never going to serve you. And we live in the 3D, right? We live in the matrix. That's just a fact. Unless you live off grid, you got to deal with the matrix. And even then, when you live off grid, you still might have to deal with the matrix. You're gonna have to, period. That's just reality. 10 of Pentacles, the World, 2 of Cups. Exactly. There's the 7 of Cups on the bottom here too, but let's talk about this. Let's talk about you getting free. Let's talk about the end of these karmic cycles in your life. That's what I want to talk about. I'm really not even interested in none of the other shit, because at the end of the day, it was the heartache, the hard work that you put in, the struggles that led to you learning these lessons that leveled you up, that blessed you up, and got you coming into alignment with what it is you were meant to be. So what you need to understand is whatever it is you are engaging with, that you're trying to build this spiritual platform, if you will. I mainly read for star seeds, outliers. We call them outliers here. I mainly read for people of supernatural or extraterrestrial lineage, whether that's spiritual or 3D physical blood lineage, whatever. And so what I have to say is this, if you're oh, I need to make this platform because I need to share the message, that's fine, but you make the platform. Don't let the platform make you. Don't lose your integrity to a system that is meant to destroy you, to the beast system. That's what it is. Okay? If you want to be a teacher, you want to teach children, you want to heal. Okay, let me make this example. I was planning on becoming a teacher. I was learning to be a teacher, in fact. I was studying it as my minor in uni. And I had to do in-school teaching to get my teacher certificate. So with my first teaching course, early childhood development, I also, in tandem, was teaching 30 hours a semester at a school in New York City, New York public schools. And I chose 7th grade art because that's what my dream was to teach, was 7th grade art. Because I knew that I needed someone like me when I was that age, because that was the age that I truly became depressed and started experiencing SI, unaliving ideation. And so that's why I wanted to teach them 7th grade art. I found a Black woman teacher. She's an artist, teaching in a very nice neighborhood, Forest Hills, Queens. If you don't know it, it's affluent AF. And let me tell you, after that semester, I was like, fuck no. I'm not doing this. No. The way that they overworked that woman, the way that she put her dreams, a dream deferred is what's coming up. The way that she put her dreams on the back burner because she thought that, oh, I'll teach during the school year. Oh, hello. I was just thinking about you the other day. The way that this woman put her dreams on the back burner in order to teach these kids, because the same thing that I thought. Okay, I'm going to teach in the school year and I'm going to make art in the summer. It doesn't happen. She told me that firsthand. It does not work that way. She told me, this Black woman who was doing exactly what I wanted to do, told me, do not do this. Do not become a teacher. Pursue art with everything that you have. So, I guess part of the message is this. Don't let the platform make you. You make the platform. Don't let the platform make you. But also, don't put off your dreams because you're scared. Don't let the system control your thoughts, your behaviors, what you do with your life. Don't let that be what it is. Okay? Because that's going to ruin you. Period. It's going to ruin you. You're not going to be able to serve your higher purpose that you want to serve. You're not going to be able to serve your higher power. You're not going to be able to serve integrity and love. You're not going to be able to serve your own spirit if you're serving the beast system. If you're serving, they say Babylon, but I don't know. I have a contentious relationship with that. So 4 of Pentacles in the reverse position. Hello. Hi. I guess this is the good time to come on. If I want to do lives, this is when people seem to be online. Oh, there's an upside down card in here. It's the 3 of Swords. Yup. I think there's another upside down card in here though. Yes, the 2 of Wands. Yes. So I know that some of y'all are heartbroken because you're realizing some people that you really loved and cared about are sick. But look at this energy. Look at how these are polar opposites. And this is the reality is multiple things can be true at once. Okay, you're going through a loss, but you're also gaining so much. You're gaining so much from having this removed. Because a lot of folks, and I'm saying this, it's not just people. It's people, places, things, ideas, systems, or rather systems, ideologies. What's the other word I want to use here? Situations. Whatever it is for you that's been removed from your life. Because I've said this before, for a lot of folks, it's your job. And for some folks, it's your friends. For a lot of you, it's not, sure, it's a romantic partner, but for real, for a lot of folks, it's your friends. And part of it is I realized something, because y'all know I'm going through a friend breakup. I don't give guys, people that I'm dating, specifically men though, because I'm pansexual, but I know this about myself. Men who are interested in me, cis men, I don't give them a fucking inch because I don't fucking want to be around them for the most part. So if they fuck up, usually I'm done. I get the ick real fast with dudes. I don't play games with them. I do not tolerate nearly as much as I do for women. Yeah. And I put up with a lot more from women than I did from men. women who I didn't even actually end up in a full actual relationship with. And it turns out that they were just as bad, if not worse in some ways, than the dudes. But I couldn't see it. Why? Because I had my own perception that I wanted to live by. You know what I mean? And I also couldn't see it because I was like so focused on friends. I was so busy being a loyal friend and a good friend. I was so busy being like, romance doesn't even matter. Like, are you a good friend? That's what matters. At the end of the day, when your boo breaks up with you, who's going to be there to pick up the pieces? Your friends. That's not even true a lot of the time. That's not even true a lot of the time. Because let me tell you, some of the worst shit has been happening to me in the past year and a half. And people that I thought would be in my life forever, they're not here. Where the fuck are they? They're nowhere to be found. But expecting emotional labor from me. Right? So I spent so long, and then it's also family. Same thing. I spent so long hyper focusing on romantic relationships, specifically with men, and having really strong boundaries there, but not having that in any other relationship. And so I was being drained and I didn't even know it. I had to have my sex relations removed completely for 4 years, or at least to not have them physically, but I was like having like romantic intrigue situationships, not even really situationships. What is it called? Entanglements. Thank you, Jada Pinkett Smith. Having entanglements. Give me just a second. Excuse me. Hold on. No, you can see. Yes, entanglements. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not wearing pants. I was gonna get up, but I can't because like I'm not wearing pants. Anyway, I spent so long like focusing on those things that I had to have all those things removed from me. So trust and believe, like whatever's being removed in your life, one, there's a reason for it, and two, these snakes were hiding and they were doing a damn good job of it. They were doing a damn good job of it. Don't cry over spilled milk, because that milk was sour. That milk was past its expiration date. I know that some folks, some of y'all are mad loyal people, and you're like, no, I can't leave this person. Like, they need me. No, what they need is God. That's what they need. They need to develop a better relationship with the higher power of their understanding. That's what the fuck they need. Because I say this all the time. Now. Because it's happened too many times. Exactly. Develop a stronger relationship with Allah, Dieu, God. I don't care. Just get your spiritual life together. Okay? It's been 4 years, over 4 years since I quit drinking. And next month will be 3 years since since I got fully sober. And nobody has I haven't done anything physical with anybody. And thank God. Because I have been able to strengthen my relationship with my higher power. I have been able to strengthen my spiritual relationship. I have been able to heal and get well in the ways that I really desperately needed to. To be prepared for my journey, to be prepared to receive. What I need to tell y'all is this too. Some people are possessed. Deadass. I think I said this in the eclipse video, but I'm going to just say it again. Some people are really, really possessed, and they are, if you're experiencing heartbreak right now, it's because you're being removed. If you imagine it like this is you, this is them. You're being removed so that you can come together and be whole within yourself. This codependent shit does not work. That's not solid ground to build upon. Just like they say in the song, facts, me too. And I'm going to preface this. When I talk about Christ, I'm talking about Christ consciousness. If I'm talking about the guy, Yeshua, I'll call him Yeshua. If I'm talking about Christ, I'm talking about Christ consciousness. Transcendence of the 4D. Mastery of the 4D. 12th dimension, mana. Okay? On Christ, the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. I sang that in the Eclipse one too. And every time I hear that song, it makes me think about my ancestors, because we used to sing that at my grandma's church. But it's true. Anything I build upon integrity, anything I build upon unconditional love, that has a solid foundation. And let me tell you what's coming right now. This is why they've been removed. This is why they have been removed. You did the right thing. If you've been unsure if you did the right thing, you have. You're building a new foundation. You're building a solid foundation on integrity and unconditional love. And a foundation that is grounded in the Most High, the consciousness, the realms of consciousness and spirit. And that's why I keep telling y'all, we build our manifestations top to bottom. We bring it in top, highest vibration to lowest vibration, the 3D. And you don't need to worry about nothing else below that, because that's what those motherfuckers were before. You leveled up to the point that these people cannot fucking touch you. Because guess what? They were so low vibrational that they couldn't stay in your energy. And some of them are addicted to drugs. I'll tell you what, the two people who, like, I had to cut out most recently, and who were psychically and spiritually attacking me and pulling on my energy and trying to, like, get me mixed up, get me caught up, whatever, hemmed up, whatever, you know, those people are addicted to marijuana. And I had the realization yesterday when I realized that, I was thinking about it. And it's funny, I got my confirmation from my solar plexus, and then I looked at this, and look at this face here. They are possessed of a mind. They are possessed of an entity. Yes, that dopium. Y'all smoking that dopium? Exactly. But deadass though, and I thought about it, this time 3 years ago, I was out of control. I was dependent upon the herb. I was dependent upon it. So I was dependent on something outside of me. And that's why I could not progress. My life was better than it had ever been, but that wasn't saying much, because my life had sucked really badly prior to that. And I didn't even see how small my life was, because I was so high all the time. I did not want to deal with my problems. Hello, hi. Welcome. I didn't want to deal with my problems. Okay, I'm going to pause. Give me just a second. Okay, sorry guys. It's me, the pantsless wonder. I apologize. So I didn't want to deal with my problems. I didn't want to face things. I didn't want to be properly in my masculine. My masculine was going out of my way to do everything for myself and be completely reliant upon myself, which is not possible. And not really be in my feminine at all, to be honest with you. But then I was in my feminine in unhealthy ways, as in, like, and I also was ignoring my intuition. That's another way that we can be in our masculine in an unhealthy way, is ignoring our intuition. I hope that stays up. Anyway, so I was ignoring my intuition. I was ignoring the things that were super, super clear to me. I was holding on way too tight to relationships that were not serving me. And I was just codependently enmeshed. These cups around us full, I was codependently enmeshed. And when I stopped drinking, I ended a lot of relationships because I could see clearly. And also I stopped doing shit that I was like ashamed of doing, like blacking out and shit. Like, I stopped doing that, so I had more confidence, and I was unafraid to let people know, like, you're disrespecting me. You know, all of the things that I was incapable of doing but wanted to do back when I was drinking and partying, I was able to do because I felt my feelings so strongly. And yes, I lost a lot of relationships. There was heartbreak. But guess what? After the storm comes the rainbow. The promise is fulfilled. Providence is found. Okay, Two of Wands. You see this? This is a bridge. This is a bridge between two energies. The rainbow bridge. Talked about 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗨 in the eclipse reading. The rainbow bridge. But also it's electric, right? Yes, exactly. Sun will come out. It's a rainbow bridge. And you see the sun did come out right behind him. This is electricity. The energies are supporting you in whatever it is you want to manifest. But you had to go through this heartbreak. You had to go through this removal. This is the end of that for you, though. So both things can be true at once. You can be heartbroken, but also grateful. You gotta mourn. You gotta grieve. But just when you're doing that, remember and have gratitude for what you've been delivered from, because it's destructive. I mean, it's destruction. These motherfuckers did not have your best interest at heart. They didn't, because they're possessed. When I think about who I was before I quit smoking, I was making money, y'all. I was making the firest ass blondie edibles in Bed-Stuy. And folks were loving it. I was making blondies and they were potent. I was using med strains from a delivery service back then. Folks were not fucking with delivery service like they do now. And I was making money. The fuck? And I could say hi all the time. I didn't have to deal with life. What Frank Ocean say? Rolling marijuana, that's a cheap vacation. That part. I didn't see any need. I didn't feel the urgency to level up in my life, because I was just outside of my life, outside of my body, had no agency. You know what I mean? Well, the thing about marijuana is it slows you down. It slows you down. And it is an earth element. So it's inherently enmeshing you to the 3D. Yes, if you smoke it, it also incorporates fire element, air element. Sure, yeah, that's all true. But stop fucking making excuses. Because we all know that it wakes up our senses in our 3D earth body. And because we're more sensitive, we're more aware of sensations, feeling information being channeled through our body that we weren't before. That's what's happening to you when you're smoking weed. That's why you're out in other dimensions. For me, I just get overstimulated to the point where my teeth will chatter. And I get too sensitive because I'm already sensitive as it is. Everything that I experienced when I was high or tripping, because I remember what I was doing 420 3 years ago. Shrooming and smoking weed and painting a mural in my bedroom because I was quantum leaping through the most potent awakening I had had since the year 2012. And I am more powerful than I've ever been. And that is because I have been completely sober for the past 3 years. And I'm not saying that you need to go and get sober. But what I am saying is this. There's a reason why these people were able to be possessed. Because they're addicted to substances and they're not doing anything about it. I'm not shaming addiction at all. They don't have rigorous spiritual practices, despite the fact that they are empathic, highly sensitive outliers. They're not blessed up. They're not making an effort. They're not trying. And so guess what? They're getting hijacked. They're getting hijacked. Yoma, that's the Japanese word for monster. They're being possessed, just like in Sailor Moon. Y'all ever seen Sailor Moon? The Dark Kingdom constantly sending monsters. The monsters disguise themselves as a human and then they possess the people using spirits. And how do they possess them? In the first episode, they get a jewelry shop. They have a sale, a crazy sale. Exactly, yokai China. They have a crazy sale. The girl, Naru, I think that's her name. Is like, my parents never ever go on sale. This is crazy. I don't understand why. Well, it's because those aren't your parents. Your mom was possessed by a Yoma and Lolo, and the jewelry was bewitched so that all of the people who bought the jewelry became possessed and started looking for the silver crystal and attacking Usagi, Sailor Moon. Same thing happened with the bus full of people would get kidnapped on this ghost bus and they would get possessed. Always. That's all that it is. That's what I'm saying. The point is, what you need to understand is this is major arcana, so this is karmic. Believe me. If this reading finds you, it's because you are anointed, you are blessed. The Holy Spirit lives within you. That's the divine spark, Shekinah, the feminine principle. If you don't study Gnosticism, there you go. The light is Shekinah. It's a divine feminine emanation associated with Sophia. That's divine wisdom. 555. And I have 55 on my phone as well. So big 5 energies. I do feel like there's an embattlement here. And Spirit wants to let you know that Spirit is here for you to carry you through these challenges. This is why they've been revealing to you what they've been revealing to you. It's been a long time coming, these relationships breaking. And if you're not aware of what you need to do, ask. If you have to ask, it's because you know. I'll tell you that much. Because if I have to ask the tarot, it's because I know. I already know. That's why I don't read for myself. I already know. The message already came through. I'll ask someone else to get information for me if I've gotten all the information I can get. But I already know what it is, you know? So as I said, you know, you're blessed up. These people are being possessed by these entities. And that's going to be happening a lot in this season because it's spiritual warfare, especially throughout eclipse season. You're in a season of building yourself. And as the veil is coming back down, you just need to keep building. Don't get caught up in fear. Don't get caught up in consternation. Don't get caught up in concern, worry, none of that. Because the energy is in you. All of the energy that you want to cultivate is in you. What you have to do is build it. Bring it forth. You, by getting rid of these things that you've been dependent on, it's a codependent relationship. Whether it's a people, place, thing, situation, whatever. You felt like you couldn't live without this thing. I deadass felt like I couldn't live without smoking weed. I really did. And then I found a community to help me not smoke. And I was going to this community for a month before I finally surrendered and was like, okay, I'm gonna try it y'all's way. I'm gonna try it and we'll see. And if I don't like it, I'm gonna go back to doing what I want to do. And 3 years later, I'm a happy fucking customer. And that's not the case for everybody. Everybody is going to be different. Some people are addicted to sugar. Some people are addicted to love, sex, pornography. I don't know, other types of self-destructive behavior, dating, womanizing. Being the victim. A lot of people is that they're addicted to being the victim. A lot of people are addicted to drama. A lot of people are addicted to I'm addicted to seafood. No, I feel you though. I'm actually in my period of no meat. Spirit has told me that it's time because I brought this through, but also you brought this through too, separately from one another, that we would need to stop eating the meat because the disease is in the meat. So, Spirit, I was like, but you're encouraging me to eat meat. And they were like, don't worry about it. And now it's time to stop eating meat. And I'm like, I just know. And this is what it is. Do what you're being guided to do right now. You're coming into divine union. So don't cry over spilled milk. 3 of Swords. Yes, your heart is broken. But you are being liberated. We get the Ace of Pentacles under the 7 of Cups. It's a brand new beginning, a brand new day. You're stepping through this portal. Look at this. This actually looks like the portal that I see when I see like Atlantis, portals in Atlantis. So something that I was getting is like Spirit, I see the Queen of Wands is turned over and I see the 8 of Pentacles is in the reverse. You went through a consciousness shift that has brought you into the ability, 10 of Wands in the reverse. As I said, it's the end of this embattled energy. You have come out victorious. And honestly, they're getting justice. They're getting their just desserts. Whatever it is. Because some of it is like, you know, it's the economy. Which is built on slave labor. Right? Justice is the destruction of this economy. But if you know that you're walking in the light, walking in the light. That's another song. Another praise song from my childhood. Walking in the light of God. And that's it though. That's what I talk about, your pillar of light. When you are in alignment, you're in your pillar of light. And that is like being in a beam. You know, like if you were in an alien ship, you were in a beam, and those beams disintegrate you and bring you back and integrate you into another place, like a portal. You move at light speed when you are in your pillar of light, when you are in alignment. That's why it's your higher power. All of our higher powers lead to source. And it is whatever it is for you, because your journey, your soul journey, it is what it is, right? But all of our higher powers lead to source. And ultimately, whatever it is that we got to do is serving source. When we're in alignment, we are in our pillar of light. That's when we're walking in the light of God, the divine. I was getting wealth transferred in my channels last night. Exactly. The tables have turned. What is it? The meek shall inherit the earth. It's the end game. The sun. You know when they talk about Noah going on the ark with the 2 pairs of the animals, and they go to Providence? Twin flames. Twin flames coming together. Hello. Twin flames coming together in this time of divine union, because we've removed ourselves from the karmic contracts. The karmic contracts were already over, but we had to remove ourselves from those relationships. And as I said, we're building right now. Yeah, we're taking steps towards Providence. We get the sun. Not for nothing, it's the sun, which is a star, and the Ace of Pentacles. I'm feeling the great central sun here. And I've been getting the great central sun a lot. So if you have been experiencing a lot of like spiritual attacks, psychic attacks, if you've been experiencing a lot of fear, a lot of what's going to come up in this time, as I said about like, it's not just people, it can also be places, things, situations, jobs. A lot of it is also situations. A lot of it is just like instilling fear or getting us angry, getting us to behave in a low vibrational way through things that are already low vibrational. So if you've been like scrolling, doom scrolling, that is one of the ways in which we are going to be being attacked and have our energy drained of us, sucked out of us. Because right now it really is about being in the energy of what it is we're manifesting, of this abundance that we're bringing through, because we bring it through us. We are the channel through which it is manifested. Okay, so shine your light. Shine your light purely, because that's going to bring it in. This is a change of environment, of our space-time continuum, of our external matrix. We've been doing the matrixy healing. Matrixy is the plural of matrix. We've been doing the healing of the divine feminine. And that's why I said, I think I put this on TikTok, but I said this. I made a video on Instagram, but it didn't have volume. It's not only about how we are magnetizing. We live in an electromagnetic universe, and too much of the time, I was like this too, so I understand. Too much of the time we focus on like, oh, I gotta change my vibe because I'm attracting this kind of energy. Sometimes it's not about what you're attracting, it's about what you're allowing. So we're spending so much time castigating our feminine energy in our feminine processes and not at all thinking about our masculine expression. And I have to say it because it's true. If your vibe is honey, if you are sweet, you are attractive, you know that you are just a magnetic human being. People are attracted to you like flies to honey. Your body, your vessel is the pot. You put a pot of honey out in the middle of a field in the summertime. Hi. What are you going to get? You put a pot of honey out in the middle of a field in the summertime. What are you going to get? Bears are going to come. Frogs, snakes, ants, flies, mosquitoes, everything, bees, people, everything is going to come to this pot of honey out in the middle of this field. That's you. If you know that you are a highly attractive human being, and I'm not just talking about looks, because there are plenty of people who are not conventionally attractive, but they're extremely attractive energetically. And there are also plenty of people who, you see them online and they look great, but then you see them in person and they don't. Or they do, but they just have like a vibe. You know what I mean? It's not about the looks, it's about the vibe, it's about the frequency. If you are a highly attractive, magnetic human being, everyone is going to be attracted to you. Everyone and their mama. So it's really not about like, oh God, like, what am I attracting to me that's making these people like come into my life? A lot of the time, it's because we're not saying no. A lot of the time, it's because we're not having any boundaries. We're not having any standards. If you allow someone in your life to disrespect you over and over again, that's what you're allowing. The moment that you say no, then it's no, and they can't anymore. It is very victim blamey and not very trauma informed. Exactly. Nasty energy, yes. It's very victim blamey and not very trauma informed, and also not informed of narcissistic personalities in the dark triad, antagonistic personalities, mental illness, being unwell, to blame people, blame ourselves constantly for everything that happens in our lives. It is important to take accountability, but having humility and being right-sized means I don't take on more than my fair share of a situation. So if somebody sees my light and they come into my life and they wear a mask, they're coming off very lovely, sure, I may have sensed that something was wrong at some point, but sometimes you don't. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what they did is not my fault. Yes, I could say, I'm not interacting with this person. That's a different story. The point is, they chose to do what they chose to do. Nobody is ever in the right to cause harm. That's never justified to cause harm. It's just like people who say, well, what were you wearing if you're being harassed on the street? That has nothing to do with it, because a person who respects themselves doesn't go harassing people on the street. Okay? So I'm not going to take responsibility for anybody else's choices. However, yes, I should, knowing what I know about things and having learned lessons and embodying wisdom, I don't just operate from how things should be, I operate from how things are. So once again, there's the maladapted, wounded feminine energy and also misappropriated masculine energy, where it's like, okay, I get a sense that something is off with this person, but I don't know what it is. And, oh, well, I don't have any proof. Don't gaslight yourself. There's the big lesson. Don't gaslight yourself. Because hindsight is 20/20. You're going to be sitting with these cups all around you, crying over spilled milk, reminiscing about like, okay, well, this thing happened, this thing happened, this thing happened, and so I should have been able to see it. The reality of the situation is, like, after you go through these experiences enough times, yes, you do start to understand, like, okay, this is that vibe, and I can't deal with this person because, like, I don't know what it is, but, like, something's off and I'm not dealing with them. You get to that point, yes. And then you're in your Queen of Wands energy. You're commanding the energy. You have mastered your matrix. You have mastered your domain. You are sovereign in that way. But if you didn't know before, people who have dark triad personalities, narcissists, people who are Machiavellian, who have Machiavellianism, dark empaths, that's not within the dark triad, but psychopathy, sociopathy, all of these people who are different degrees of the psychopathic spectrum, because these are all just to different degrees, they are sick. There's something wrong with them. They are abnormal. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, they're, you know what, like, I don't know, I'm not devaluing their human experience. There's a reason that these people are the way that they are. Yes, covert narcissists, vulnerable narcissists, all of these people. There's a reason that they are the way that they are. And unconditional love for me means that I pray that they get well. I pray that they get well. I really, really do. And I truly do feel sorry for them, because that is horrible. But yeah, so these people are sick, and it's not normal. And if you haven't encountered this before, you don't think, there are even psychologists who don't understand how to deal with narcissistic personalities. Dr. Amani, one of the leading psychologists in the field of narcissistic study, has said that many times it takes months working with a client before she realizes that they are a narcissist. So we don't blame ourselves, but they'll never experience empathy. Yeah, they never will. And we got to accept that for what it is. That's just it. Radical acceptance. They're never going to. I pray that you get better, but I'm not waiting around for that. I'm not interacting with you. You're not getting any supply from me. Stay the fuck away from me, period. But I'm also not going to allow myself to not love and keep myself open. And I can only do that when I am being discerning, when I'm trusting my intuition, when I'm trusting my higher powers. See, I'm feeling it in my right ear. So the ear chakra on the patrilineal side. Yeah, you know, a lot of people, they just don't listen to their intuition. And then it's like, oh, like, why would my guides lead me into this? They tried to tell you, you didn't listen. That's what it is. Or people pleasing. We're afraid. So many of us are afraid to tell people no. So many of us are afraid to have standards. What are your standards? Create some standards and hold yourself to them. This person doesn't treat me the way that I want to be treated. I'm not interacting with them. That's the well-adjusted masculine. So it's not just the fault of the feminine energy, what I'm attracting into my life, because people are going to be attracted to us no matter what. If you're blessed up, highly favored, beautiful energy, you're a pot of honey, you're a pot of gold, of course they're attracted to you. So it's up to you to gatekeep your energy. And this whole spread was about, and I've been hearing this a lot lately, you know, our guides will sometimes allow us to experience things that don't necessarily feel very good in order for us to learn the lesson. They'll bring to us the softest, gentlest experience to learn the lesson that we karmically agreed to learn. And, you know, don't beat yourself up if it's like, well, I didn't learn the lesson before. Sometimes it just has to play out like that. Like, sometimes it just has to play out the way that it is. And I'm not doing a personal reading, so I can't tell every single person, like, why did this relationship have to, like, last so long when I was doing everything I could to get out? For me, I know that, like, certain karmic contracts that I had with people, like, they had to play out the way that they played out. It just is what it is. And also, sometimes they kept coming back to me and I kept accepting them. As I said earlier in the reading, like, it's easier for me to ignore things that are wrong in friends. It's easier for me to ignore things that are wrong in women. So that means that I have to be clear and watchful about that I have these biases. It's easier for me to be like, oh, this guy who I'm dating did this wrong. Fuck him, he's out. But I'm still having the same problems when I'm like not even dating someone. That's because then it is about me. Then it is a lesson I have to learn. But once again, that's the masculine principle, because I made the decisive decision. I opened the gate and I let them back in. So Spirit is really coming through with, like, this gate. Once you go through this gate, it's forever. And if you don't go through the gate, you're going to continue to experience this. If you don't go through the gate, you're going to be experiencing this. But I feel like some of you have gone through the gate. Some of you are still unsure if have gone through the gate, and you're in the grieving process. Some of you are still unsure if you want to go through the gate because you're afraid of this. Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is already happening. That's why you're experiencing the Seven of Cups. The sooner that you just let it go and do what you have to do and honor your intuition and walk in integrity, the sooner that you can get to the other side and you don't have to deal with the spilled milk anymore. Because as I said at the beginning of the reading, the spilled milk is sour. The milk that was in these cups was sour, it's rotten. It's past its expiration date. Whatever relationship it is, people, place, thing, situation, ideology, system, institution, what have you. Whatever it is external to yourself. Or it could be a behavior, a way of being within you. Whatever it is you're dependent on that's hindering you, that's keeping you small, keeping you low vibrational, it's time to let it go. Five of Cups, yep. Death in reverse. I really want to say, like, don't beat yourself up too much over this. Just really, like, allow the feelings to pass through you. Allow the feelings to pass through you. Because if you wallow too much in self-pity, if you wallow too much in a way, it's doubt. In a way, hello, hi. In a way, it's you doubting yourself. There's a bunch of birds on that machine up there. So that's a message for someone. Spirit, there's a lot of spiritual messages coming through in this time. Four of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, have that hard conversation, whether it's with you or somebody else, because some people, it's like you have a thing that you are attached to that you need to get rid of. And if it's a behavior, it's like, okay, well, you need to go start working with a therapist, or you need to get a coach, a life coach, or you need to go get into some sort of recovery group. But you need to have that hard conversation with yourself and start doing that work. If it's a person, if it's a job, you need to have the hard conversation. If you gotta move because you can't be somewhere anymore, That's another hard conversation you need to have. If you live with somebody and like you have a family or whatever, and like you need to figure out how to transition your life, that's a hard conversation that you need to have. Maybe it's not like, oh, this person doesn't know and I'm ending something. Maybe it's like, okay, well, we finally need to sit down and talk about like the financial consequences of what this is going to look like. We need to do the practical planning stage of something. It's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to be a really big change. Like, we're going to have to like put our kid in like public school or something like that. I don't know. That's what wanted to come out. Whatever it is, it seems like it's something that you really don't want to deal with, but it's time to have that hard conversation, brass tacks. But yeah, if we're wallowing in self-pity about like these things, if we're keeping ourselves from experiencing a full transformation. And that's just going to cause more pain, as I said. Like, somebody, it's like you're afraid of what's going to happen if this thing leaves your life. But, you know, you move through the grief and you level up and you change, and it's okay. 7 of Cups, Death card in reverse. Yeah, because it's like you're doubting the message that you're receiving from your ancestors. It's probably your patrilineal ancestors. But definitely it's about your masculinity. I'll tell you what, my dad, like, my mom really ran all over him. He's he's a very meek kind of guy, but he's like a bit of a people pleaser, you know? And so, I don't know, that's something that like I have to remember, is like to not allow myself to get pushed around. You see that all the time, like with especially narcissistic women. Like, usually the parents are in this codependent relationship where they're obsessed with one another and ignore the child, and neglect them. Might be that like they have a volatile relationship too, or like the one parent like antagonizes the child and then the other parent just lets it happen. That's a lot of it. And that none of that's okay. So we're really thinking about like how we're misusing our masculine energy by not advocating for ourselves, not exercising our agency because we're afraid, and how we're misappropriating our feminine energy because that fear is keeping us, that it is a frequency of fear. But what folks need to realize is like, okay, I'm attracting all of these situations that I don't want. But sometimes it's like, okay, the thing is in my field, it's in my life, and I'm not choosing it. I'm not receiving it. I'm not opening up to it. The opportunity comes and I don't step into it. So this is what came up. I think I did a reading yesterday, or it was the eclipse season reading, 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Exactly. This is the end of your suffering, bro. This is the end of your suffering if you want it to be. If you want it to be, if you actually are willing to walk out of that cave. My mom is jealous of how much my dad loves me. That's really disturbing. It's usually like, I hear from a lot of women who end up leaving their father of their child that they, that the dad got like super jealous of how much love the mom was giving the baby. So, you know, it might be that your mom is in like some also like maladapted masculine energy. But either way, all of that is toxic and sick. All of it's toxic and fucked up. Self-obsessed, fearful, scarcity mindset. I'm not going to ever get enough love. I'm not going to get what I need. 6 of Wands, healing. Yeah, getting what we want. Getting is an action. Doing what I want. Doing is an action. But getting what I want is an action too. And so it's about like the decisiveness. And that's why I'm saying, like, if you don't have standards, when you have standards, you don't really need to have boundaries as much, because I feel like having boundaries is kind of more so when you're unclear. Kind of like, for me, I'll put it this way. For me, a standard, I have standards for people that I'm gonna be friends with. Let's say, if I consider you a close friend, I need to know, a standard is that I can count on you. I can count on you, that I can tell you about good things going on in my life, and I can count on you when I'm going through something, that I can tell you about it. And one thing that I have that is like more so a boundary, I feel like, is like, if I tell a person about like something that is going on with me that's not so great, and I'm just telling them like, oh, this is going on, I might just be venting or something, or I don't have any type of feeling about it, it's just like, oh, this thing happened, it was super annoying, and they like start freaking out. It's like, oh my god, like, oh, are you okay? Like, I don't fuck with that. Like, we're not doing that. I don't need that kind of weird, like, chaotic, dramatic energy in my life. Like, that's unnecessary. That's gonna fuck up my vibe and my field, and I don't need that. And so, like, I have a standard for, like, this is what I need to be able to do to consider a person my friend. But like, there's my boundaries. Like, okay, I can tell you stuff, but like, how are you gonna act? How are you going to affect my energy? I don't know if that's connecting or making sense, but I do find that when I have standards for how people act towards me, like, I guess like a boundary is like, you're already in my life, whereas a standard is like, we still are deciding, like, if you don't meet these standards, you're not even coming in the gate. You're not coming in the gate. And what folks, we got to understand is, like, we are in our power now. We are in our power in ways we have never ever been before. Never in your life have you been in your power the way that you are now, because of what's gone on in the cosmos, what's gone on the planet, in the planet. Okay, never ever before. So even more, the flies and the mosquitoes and the ants and the salamanders and the bears and the toads and the raccoons, they're all going to be coming to that pot of honey, that pot of gold, in the middle of the field. They're all going to be coming, even more so than ever. And that's why we had to go through this karmic process. So remember, we're getting major arcana here. It's the High Priestess. We get the World. We get the Death card. It's high vibrational energy, and the Sun. So we had to learn. We really, really had to learn. We really, really had to prove to ourselves, not to anybody else, to ourselves, that we were willing, able, and capable of doing what it was that needed to be done. 9 of Pentacles. There's a bird in this card. As I said, those birds out there on the transformer. Spiritual messages. We're almost at the end of this cycle, but it's all, the worst is behind us. It really is. You passed the test, whoever you are. The Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. Queen of Cups. This has all been about you coming into your sovereignty. And your matrix is your field. That's your domain. That's the only thing that you really have any real power over, any real control over. As I said, I can't make anybody do anything that I want them to do. As was pointed out, if somebody's a narcissist, like, there's no point in arguing with them. There's no, we did it, yeah. There's no point in, like, arguing with them. There's no point in, like, trying to expose them. They don't fucking care. If they are really truly a narcissist, they're not capable of caring. You're not capable of changing them. So there's no point in wasting your time and your energy. My uncle just passed on Friday. I think the birds are him. It could be. It could be. Sorry for your loss, Sophie. God bless his travels and his journey. Get justice in the reverse. Actually, no. Okay, to me, it's coming out in the direct, but for some reason, it wants you to see the reverse. Okay, so in the world, it's going to look like a lot of terrible things are happening. I keep talking about this. Yes, blessings in his transition. May it be filled with ease. May it be filled with grace. And may he return to the eternal peace of oneness. Amina. You're welcome. Divine Alana, hello, welcome. In the world outside, it's going to look like a real shit show. Because the false matrix is receiving its justice too. Just as I said, like, the economy being fucked up, well, that's justice because the economy was built on slavery, right? So that is justice. But you don't worry about that because as long as you are walking in integrity, as long as you are in your pillar of light, as long as you are, as somebody said, God walking, the Hanged Man in reverse, exactly. Everything that was stuck for you is coming loose. So in your life, in your personal world, you're okay. You're safe. Your matrix. That's all you can control. And don't worry about how other people are receiving it. Oh, are they getting it? No, just be yourself. The point of most light workers, your only true mission is to be the best version of you that you can be. Bring your self-fulfillment. Live your best life. Because that grounds the frequency that you carry within you into the earth. People are transformed just by engaging with you, your energy, your creations, just by seeing you. Okay? So this is why you don't have to go out of your way to do all of this stuff, to be in your purpose. Being in your purpose is really you living your best life. Even if that means that, like, oh, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. That's your purpose. Don't doubt that. You don't have to understand why. Nobody has to understand why. That's between you and your higher power. They have you doing that for a reason. Okay, think about it. Virgin, the Virgin Mother. I don't want to go along with this narrative. So, but I will. I'll just use this example. Mary was a mother and that was her thing. That's the thing that she did. She was a mom to Yeshua, who was a light worker and a starseed. And an ascended master. And for all of what it's worth, a great example of how to walk through the world as somebody who embodies Christ consciousness. Put it that way. Actually, I was watching somebody today and they were talking about, like, Katherine Jackson. Imagine how she must feel when she, like, turns on the radio and hears her kids' songs. You know what I mean? And she's, other than being their mom, she never did anything. And I'll be honest, she wasn't even a great mom. But I guess that was her purpose. That was what she contributed. And there's nothing wrong with that. So if that's all she ever wanted to do was be a mom, she did that. And now look, without her, the world would not be the place that it is today. It wouldn't be. Oh, Blac Chyna's mother. Yeah, because then we wouldn't have that iconic video of, "Are you beeping beep?" between Blac Chyna and Rob. I'm not gonna say it. I don't wanna bring that energy here. But so if that's what you want to be, then be that person. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be a teacher, cool. If you want to be famous, cool. You know what I mean? Like, if people are shaming you, if people are trying to hold you back, especially I feel like a lot of folks here listening, watching, like, I get the Princess of Cups in the indirect position. I feel like a lot of you, the people that are leaving your life now, had been harboring negative feelings towards you that were keeping you knew about them, High Priestess, you knew about them, but you maybe didn't feel like you had tangible proof, and you were afraid for whatever reason of pulling the plug. We've been talking about pulling the plug since, like, I feel like before solstice. But you were, or equinox, excuse me. Yes. You were afraid to pull the plug because you had, like, history with them, or you were afraid of them slandering you. Karmic is what I'm hearing. You had to transmute your energy high enough to get free of them. That's why they were stuck in your, like, they were stuck in your life. It could have been that you tried to, like, just disappear out of their life, but you had to have a conversation. So some of you, you had to have a conversation with them, and you had to have this big blowout. But not everybody that's true. Some people, it's just like disappear into the dark of the night. I really love to do that. But this person, their energy has been poisoning you. And it's not just you, they're poison to everyone around them. They're poison. But because everyone else around them is so low vibrational, they don't even realize it. And misery loves company. They don't want you to get free. So they may be like, oh, like, you know, people will be like, oh, so-and-so's Hollywood now. Oh, yeah, that person's so Hollywood now. They switched up. And it's like, literally, I'm the same person, except, like, now I have matured a little bit. Or, like, I like different things. I have a more expanded palette and taste, you know? Things like that. So that's it for a lot of folks here. Is like, some of us had secret haters, and those secret haters didn't even want to believe that they were haters. They really didn't, and you knew how hard they were trying to not be that, but to like be happy for you, but they were not actually happy. Everything, it was like sugar. Okay, like their support, you were looking for yes, exactly. It's in the subconscious, like they will sabotage you. Ace of Cups in the reverse position. Their subconscious, like, at least if they could see what they were doing and try and change it, but sometimes they see what they're doing and they just are like, that's what it is. Because one of these people that, like, I had to take out of my life, like, they deadass told me that they were envious and jealous of me, and thought that it was okay that they had self-awareness. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, so a lot of us, we haven't been wanting to admit to, I'm seeing all of the Pentacle cards here. And remember, what I say is we channel from the ethers to the air. It gets denser. ethers, air, water, fire, earth. That is spirit and consciousness, mental body, emotional body, energetic body, 3D. I just know this girl is projecting all this negativity and it's just rolling off me. Yeah, whoever that girl is, like, I feel it, and you gotta get your evil eye poppin'. Like, get the 𝗪𝗻𝗄 poppin'. But what you can also do is, like, sometimes what I do in my heart is, like, I just be like, I see you. I see you, because we're having a communication in the 5D, and I'm actively conscious in waking time in the 5D, and they're not. And so their spirit is telling me all their jealous ass stuff. It's sometimes their higher self is the one who's telling me about them. Their ancestors sometimes are the one telling me about them. You know what I mean? And they'll tell on themselves. They always will tell on themselves. And so sometimes I just be like, I see you. And I don't know if this is something that y'all know how to do, but what I do is, like, I say it, I change my frequency basically, and I say it so that it's received consciously by them. I see you. I know what you're doing. Don't think I don't. Watch yourself. I say it. And whether or not they telepathically hear it, they know. It enters their consciousness one way or another. Sometimes they'll just stop fucking with you. Alfonso's ancestors apologized to me. Yeah, people's ancestors, like my friend, somebody's ancestors apologized to me, and like, is really moving, because like, this was a person who I never ever wanted. I did not want to not have a relationship with them, but you know, they made their decisions. These karmics, they made their decision. You know, a lot of us, like, we had somebody who was slated to be our divine counterpart in this time, but they're choosing to not go through the portal. They're choosing the false matrix. They're choosing the beast system. They're choosing to remain outside of their pillar of light. And so they lost the bid. If we're talking about contracts, they lost the bid. But don't you worry, because this is an infinite cup that we drink from. And the mother, the divine mother, Queen of Cups, High Priestess is coming through here. But the ocean, the divine mother, which you could call 𝗪𝗂. What are some other names? I guess 𝗪𝗂, but there's semantics around that. What are some other names for the spirit of the ocean? Newt. I believe that's the Kemetic goddess of the cosmos, but that's what we're talking about here. Kali. Also, you know, this is an infinite cup that we drink from. The fountain of life. 5 of Wands in the reverse. There's no more fighting. No more of this drama, because King of Cups and the Empress. Yes, exactly. This is mastery of all of those different dimensions. That's how we're self-sovereign. Yeah.